I'm Rebbetzin Esther Jungreis. Shalom to all of you. And stay tuned for Tape with Rabbi Doug.
We're gonna see Rabbi Doug. We're gonna see Rabbi Doug. We're gonna see Rabbi Doug on your TV tonight. But Daddy, I want to watch Monday Night Football.
Forget about Monday Night Football. There's no other thing we're going to watch on Monday but Rabbi Doug.
Yeah, Rabbi Doug on TV tonight. We're going to see Rabbi Doug. Oh, everybody talk about Doug.
Rebbetzin Esther Jungreis, an enormously popular, charismatic speaker, teacher, and author who led revival-style assemblies, urged secular Jews to study Torah, and embrace traditional Jewish values, passed away on August 23, 2016, at the age of 80 years old. Rebbetzin Jungreis was a Holocaust survivor, a Hungarian Jew who spent several months in the Bergen-Belsen concentration camp as a child, and has often been known as the Jewish Billy Graham. Her many books and many speeches around the world have inspired thousands to return to Judaism and become more staunch in their observances. She received many honors throughout her life as well as awards, and was appointed by President George W. Bush to serve on the honorary delegation that accompanied him to Jerusalem for the celebration of the 60th anniversary of the State of Israel in May 2008. Rebbetzin Jungreis and I have met many times, and I had the great honor of having her on the show with me, which I'd like to present today as a memorial to her, Rebbetzin Esther Jungreis, Aleha Shalom, who passed away August 23rd, 2016, at the age of 80 years old, right here on Taped with Rabbi Doug.
Shalom and welcome to Taped with Rabbi Doug. Glad you could be with us today. My guest today is someone I've wanted to have on the show for a long time, Rebbetzin Esther Jungreis, author and speaker and columnist and TV personality. Welcome to Chicago.
My pleasure to be here.
Brucha haba'ah.
Bruchim hanimtzaim.
Thank you so much, and thank all of you for being with us. Rebbetzin Jungreis is speaking in Chicago, and she's here to talk about, first of all, what we can do in life to make our Jewish future part of our lives and make our lives part of the Jewish future. Her book, The Committed Marriage, is recently published, as well as her book, Life is a Test. And really, these books are a lot about your life and your experiences and how we can try and follow that right path, aren't they?
Well, actually, the subject I was speaking on tonight is how to become a good player for your people. And that's such a profound thought. I would like you to think about that. If you have a great sports team, the best sports team, and you only have fans, and you don't have players, what happens to the team? Eventually, the team dies. A team cannot exist without good players. The best fans cannot make up for it. Painfully, the Jewish people today have a nation of fans. Yeah, we love the Jewish people. Yes, we love Jewish culture. Yes, Israel. Yes, this, yes, that. But we are absentee Jews. We are not players. We want our people to survive. We want our people to live. We must become players. And that was the subject I spoke on tonight. How to be a good player for your people.
Now, your book, The Committed Marriage, does it talk about how to find a spouse, or does it talk about how to make your marriage more meaningful and more of a Jewish home? What is really your message in that book to people?
It encompasses everything. How to find your spouse, because that's very important.
Of course.
What to look for. Many years ago, a young girl came to my class. Very beautiful. I didn't recognize her, but everyone pointed her out to me. She was actually a TV anchor. And she came over to me and she said, Rebbetzin, I am ready, and I heard that you're the right person to speak to. And I said, ready for what, sweetie? And she said, well, I'm ready to get married. I'm sick and tired of relationships. I want to get married. I said, great. What are you looking for? He says, well, I'm looking for a quality person. I said, what's a quality person? And she says, the big five. I said, the big five? What's the big five? Well, she says, number one, he has to be good looking. And I have to have chemistry. I said, of course. He has to be smart. I like somebody who's real bright. A good sense of humor. I like to have fun. And I need somebody who's rich because, you know, I'm used to a certain lifestyle. And also athletic. I like tennis. So I look at her and I said, sweetheart, good luck. And she said, what do you mean? You don't think I can find that? I said, you're asking for 5 different persons in one shidduch. But even if you would find it, it doesn't mean anything. Those big fives are 5 big zeros. I said, what do you mean? I said, in Yiddish we call it Gonish mit Gonish, GMG. Zeros without a digit in front of it amount to Gonish mit Gonish, nothing but nothing. So she says to me, what do you mean by that, Rebbetzin? What digit are you talking about? I said, the Torah digit. What's a Torah digit? I said, the first word of the Torah and the last word of the Torah. That's the digit. The first word is base. Actually, the first letter I meant to say is base. And the last letter is lamed. Together, it spells lev, heart. If he doesn't have a good heart, his good looks will turn ugly overnight. He doesn't have a good heart, his money will be there to control you. He doesn't have a good heart, his sense of humor will be there to ridicule you. If he doesn't have a good heart, his brilliant mind will be there to mock you and to manipulate you. And if you want somebody who's athletic, big deal. Get a trainer. But where do you get a good heart? So she said, Rebbetzin, you got something. A good heart, but where do I find him? So I told her it's not so simple. Because you have to work on having a good heart. Come to our Torah classes. When you study Torah, Hashem helps you to recreate yourself, remold yourself. Torah enters your heart. It's not just education for your mind, it's for your heart. And once you master that, then you know how to find a good life partner.
Wonderful, wonderful. What a message to tell. I must tell you that your speech tonight is so moving, and we want to listen to a few things that you have to say in your speech tonight. So stay with us here on Taped with Rabbi Doug. Rebbetzin Esther Jungreis speaking for the Chicago Torah Network, and we'll be back.
The subject that was chosen for this evening is one that I believe is critical to all of us. How do you become a player for your people? Because at the end of the day, I mentioned this just a few minutes earlier, if you have the best sports team, but the best, and you only have fans, you don't have players, eventually the team dies. We have many Jewish fans who root for the Jewish people, but we don't have players, not enough. So tonight we will try to understand how to become players. And before I even get into the subject, allow me to share with you that in this past year, I have traveled the world. I've spoken on every continent where Jewish people live. And I'm very saddened to share with you that there is a new escalation in anti-Semitism. the likes of which remind me of pre-Holocaust Europe, chas v'shalom, God forbid. And our people are sleeping, just like we slept prior to Hitler. There is one fine difference between those years and today. Those years, Hitler had to rent cattle cars to deport us. Hitler had to build concentration camps, slave labor camps, and Hitler had to build gas chambers. Today, Chalila, Chalila, God forbid, he just has to push a button. Just one button, and we are sleeping. If there is anyone in this room who imagines that perhaps this is in third world countries, but not in the civilized world, then allow me to tell you that Europe has become Eurabia, portraying Israel as an apartheid state, demonizing Israel. Allow me to remind you that in New York City, that's New York City, Ahmadinejad was welcomed and given a platform at Columbia University. And I'm not even going to discuss with you the new left sentiment in this country and the Jewish self-haters who are right there with those who demonize the land of Israel. And I'm not even discussing with you the multitudes of our people who do not know what it means to be a Jew. So we are suffering internally and externally. And we are sleeping. From that beautiful introduction, you can understand that I'm not 20 years old. I've been around for a while. Actually, I'm doing kibbutz for already 50 years. So why do I keep going? And what keeps me going? My brothers and my sisters, I'm going to be honest with you. I am scared still. I'm frightened for our people. Oh, of course, like they tell me in Israel, Hakol yeh beseder, everything will be good. Of course I know that Hakol yeh beseder, that everything will be good. I knew that in Bergen-Belsen also. While I was standing for roll call every day, I knew that my people would survive. Because that's the chinuch, that's the education I received from my Holy Father, the great sage. Am Yisrael, the Jewish people, Chai, will live. Netzach Yisrael lo yishakeh, the Jewish people are eternal. And the prophets promised us that as long as the sun and the moon will exist, the Jewish people will exist. But Rabbotai, my friends, be'ezeh korbanot, at what sacrifice? 6 million, do you understand that? 6 million. It's beyond our comprehension. So tonight, with your permission, let's try to discover how we might become good players for Am Yisrael, the Jewish people. Because that's our imperative. That's our destiny. Every morning, towards the conclusion of our morning service, we have a prayer which is so poignant. At the end of Uvol Zion, if you are familiar with the prayer book, if you're not, get familiar with it. The prayer book is your best friend. It is written, Almighty God, Shalom Nigalorik, please God, help me, that I should not have labored for naught. Shalom nilid la bahala, that I shouldn't have been born for no reason. I shouldn't have been born in vain. There's nothing more devastating than to wake up one day and you realize that you misused your days. You misused your months, your weeks, your years. So how do we get to be good players? We are very fortunate tonight because we are right so close, right behind Shavuot, the holiday when God gave us the Torah and we became a nation. It's on Shavuot that we became a nation. Although, mind you, the average Jew never heard of Shavuot. They heard of Pesach, yes, but Shavuot. Not for Shavuot, there are no Jewish people. That's when God gave us the Torah. So let me share with you some tidbits from that experience. And we are going to internalize it. We will know how to be good players. There's nothing in the Torah that can be taken for granted. Nothing is written at random. Those of you who have heard me speak in the past, those of you who read my books, you know I never give my own opinion on any subject. Hapochpo, the kulabo. Turn the pages, everything is in it. Everything that I say, I substantiate with a passage from the Torah, because I could be wrong. So, let's go to the moment when we became a nation. Where did God give us the Torah? Mount Sinai. Why on Mount Sinai? And our sages teach us, and most people know this teaching, that Mount Sinai was a little, small, unimpressive hill to teach us the importance of humility. Because God says, in the arrogant heart, there is no room for me. The person who is arrogant, you can't talk to him. He wrote a book. You can't teach him anything. The arrogant individual doesn't know how to say, I'm sorry. Singles who come to me for a shidduch, interested in marriage, I always say, avoid arrogant people. Because it's torture to live with them. They're never wrong, everybody else is wrong, and they can't learn. So God gave us the Torah on Mount Sinai, a small mountain, unimpressive, to teach us humility. But then again, why didn't God give us the Torah in a valley if humility is so important? Why even a small mountain? Correct? Am I getting feedback? So what do we do? Okay. So why on a mountain at all? Why not in a valley? So listen carefully. Because as Jews we must have self-esteem. We must know who we are. We must have courage. We must have honor, respect, self-esteem. In this week's portion, the Jews who went to scout out the land, you know what their terrible sin was? They said, we were like grasshoppers next to the giants. A Jew should say he's a grasshopper. I was in Baden-Baden, a little girl every morning standing for roll call, with my head shaved, covered with lice, dressed in rags. But I knew I was Am Yisrael. How can a Jew say I'm a grasshopper? We are on a mountain. We are on a mountain. So how do we understand it all? So follow me carefully. In B'nai Brak, there is a great Magi. preacher. His name is Rabbi Doug. Believe it or not, he is even shorter in height than I. But he's an outstanding preacher. He was taken to Siberia and he was imprisoned there. And he tells a story that while he was imprisoned in Siberia, one night he wakes up and he sees a fellow prisoner, not Jewish, because in Siberia they had Jews and non-Jews in the same camps. And this gentleman gets up in the middle of the night from under his so-called bed, because you can imagine the type of beds they had. He takes out something, puts it on his lapel, on his jacket, and he takes out a little mirror, looks in the mirror, talks to himself, salutes, takes it all off, goes back to sleep. Can't understand it. The next night, the same thing is repeated. Keeps watching. So Rabbi Doug went over to him and said, "Excuse me, I couldn't help but notice. Every night, you get up and you put something on, and you can't see in the dark what it is, and you look into something that looks like a mirror, and you talk to yourself, what's going on? You saw me? Don't worry, I won't tell anyone. But just tell me, what's this all about?" And he said, "I was an officer in the Polish army. In this place, it's easy to become dehumanized, to forget who I really am. So every night I made myself a pledge. I am going to remind myself I'm an officer in the Polish army. I'm not a prisoner." And Rabbi Doug started to cry. And he said, "This is a message for me from my God. I have to remember who I am. I stood at Sinai. I am Mamlechet Kohanim, a priestly kingdom. I come from Goy Kadosh, a holy nation. Never forget who you are. Never forget." And he never forgot. And that is what my father told me to remember in Bergen-Belsen. They called us Jüdische Schweinhund, Jewish pigs. But I know, I stood at Sinai. Never forget who you are. And to the ladies in the audience, may I just say, when God gave the Torah, He told Moshe Rabbeinu to first Kol Toma LeBeit Yaakov, teach it to the women, because everything depends upon them. Whether the sons and the daughters will know who they are, whether their husbands will be inspired, depends upon them.
I'm here with Rebbetzin Esther Jungreis on Taped with Rabbi Doug. Stay tuned, we'll be right back.
And you're watching Taped with Rabbi Doug.
Welcome back. I'm here with Rebbetzin Esther Jungreis here on Taped with Rabbi Doug. A wonderful speech tonight, a wonderful evening. Hundreds and hundreds of people. There must have been 500-600 people here.
I heard there was 700.
700 people, unbelievable. I wish you much success with the committed marriage, with life is a test. Give us one message on a life is a test. What test can we work on most to try and overcome and succeed with?
Everything in life is a test. Your whole life is a test. It's written, Elohim nisa et Abraham, and God tested Abraham. Every day we are being tested. When you're a child, you are being tested as to what sort of a child you are to your parents, what sort of a student you are. And it's not a question of knowledge, it's a question of respect and goodness. And when you get married, you are being tested as to what sort of a spouse you are, and then what sort of a parent you are. The word test in Hebrew also means a banner that you see from a distance. Because one day, when you are gone, your descendants will remember you by the banners that you left behind, as to how well you passed your tests.
What a great message.
So think about that, friends. How will my daughter, how will my son remember me one day? Will they remember me for being ill-humored, for being depressed, for being angry? Will they remember that while I was not well, I became cynical and nasty? Or will they remember that I kept my faith? Will they remember that Daddy, when he lost his job, became an angry man? Or will they remember Daddy shielded us and always had faith? Will they remember you for the Torah that you studied, for the Torah that you live, for the Shabbos in your home, for your chesed, your kindness, for your smile, your love? Or will they remember that you were a depressed, angry, moody person? What will they remember? How well will you pass your test? Every day is a test. God bless you all, and should help us to pass our test with honor and dignity.
Thank you so much. Remember to check out our show every week at this time. You can see us on the web at www.tvrabbi.com. If you want to send any email to me, I'll be happy to forward it on to the Rebbetzin, info@tvrabbi.com. Thank you, Rebbetzin Esther Jungreis, for coming to Chicago, for being with us. Hope to see you next time right here on Taped with Rabbi Doug. Shalom, everyone.
Shalom to you all, dear friends, and shalom to Rabbi Doug.
And shalom to you, Rebbetzin.
Bereshis Noach lecha vayera chayes haratoldos vayitze vayishlach vayeshev viketz vayigash vayechi shemos vayirabo b'shalach Yisrael mishpatim teruma tetzava kisiza vayakab b'kudei vayikratzav shemini tazriya mitzorach haremos Kedoshim amor behar Bechukos hayayay Bamidbar naso v'haloscha Shlach korach Chugaz bola pinchas Matos mazei Devarim eschananei Gavrei shoftim Kisei gisavonim savim Vayachazin ezos habracha These are the 5 chumashim, the 5 sefarim. Bereshit Shemos Vayikra Bamidbar Devarim.
This has been a Tape with Rabbi Doug production.